because I guess like badgers look kind of like they're going through an emo phase, they've got the it looks like they've got some dark eyeliner on. If you say TikTok on Instagram or Instagram on TikTok, both of them are like, go away, we don't like you do not belong here, you cannot say the enemy's name. Anyway, so hello everybody and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about my favourite things at the moment, or mixing the sound of the music, all of my favourite things. Anyway, and that is because I thought, you know what, back in the day, OG YouTube that I used to watch before I was even a YouTuber myself, a lot of YouTubers would do like a video and it'd be like their monthly favourites, and they'd basically be talking about all of the things that they were loving that month. Mostly it would be sponsored beauty products, but younger me lapped that up. Anyway, I'm not going to be talking about anything that is sponsored apart from the sponsor of the podcast that you guys know is Red Post. Red Post Equestrian is oh no, I really had it and I didn't. Red Post is an equestrian and country store based in the UK, but they also ship all over the world. And you guys know, right now it's November. And do you know what November means? It is Black Friday month. Yes, it is time to be thinking, what am I going to get my friends and family for Christmas? What do I need to stock up on and get the best deals? And did you know that if you download the Red Post app, you can get the Black Friday deals before other people? I know, because once the deals are gone, they are gone. You can get them on the Thursday, which is the 28th of November from midday. So be sure to go and download the Red Post app to not miss out on those sweet, sweet deals. Anyway, on to today's episode. Well, I'm not going to be talking about sponsored things, but things that I actually do. I'm just loving at the moment. And some of these things, if you're my friends and family members that you're listening to, that you'll be like, yes, these are things that Esme is probably borderline mildly obsessed with at the moment, because I feel like we all go through different phases. Like, for example, I think the thing that most people go through phases is breakfasts. Most people, they have their go-to solid breakfast that they have every single day. And then one day you kind of think, you know what, this isn't hitting anymore. It doesn't slap. I feel like something else. And then that will be your new go-to breakfast. So anyway, if you're wondering what, actually I could start off with food. Actually, think like food and things that I'm really loving as like a little snack. Like, when sometimes you're just sitting there like, I'm a little hungry, it's a little while till dinner, I just need like a little snack to tide me through. So I thought we'd talk about food that I'm really liking at the moment, which is a little bit random. But yeah, first off, if you want to know what my go-to breakfast is at the moment, it is always have a cup of tea in the morning. I love having honey in my cup of tea, which is a little bit random. I have it with 1 spoonful of honey, and then I have it with milk as well. And sometimes I like it a little bit milky, not like white milk, like a biscuit coloured tea. I'd say that is the appropriate level of milk for a cup of tea in the morning. And then I have it with, this is something that I got my friend onto, and she was like, how have I missed out on this my entire life? Toast. This is not that healthy, I apologise, but if I'm feeling like, if I fancy something sweet with my tea, toast with Lotus Biscoff spread. So it's like a biscuity spread. Oh my goodness, if you've never had that before, life-changing. Love it. Like, sometimes it is a little bit too sweet for me in the morning. I do quite like a fried egg on toast as well. Basically, tea and toast is my go-to breakfast at the moment. So anyway, that's number 1. Number 2, mystery squashes. So in the UK, we have this thing called squash. I know in the US it's not as big of a thing, but it's like you have concentrated juice that you pour into a glass and then you fill it up with water, and it's like a nice fun drink. So blackcurrant squash, apple and blackcurrant, that's a big thing. That is my fave. Orange squash, not for me. That was my brother's favourite growing up. He was orange squash and I was blackcurrant squash. One thing that I'm not a fussy eater. Like, there are not many things that I don't like, but orange squash is where I draw the line. I don't know what it is. I've just never liked it. It's not for me. No, thank you. I hate it. So there we go. But all the other squashes, I love. Summer fruits, lemon squash. If I'm feeling fancy, an elderflower cordial. Anyway, so whenever my friends come around for dinner, I'm like, what would you like to drink? And a lot of the time they say, Esme, give me a mystery squash, because they know, like, I don't know what it is, but I just love a fancy like not alcoholic or anything like that, like just a fancy like squash or a fancy drink. I don't know what it is. It just brings me so much joy. It just makes drinking water a bit more fun. Anyway, so they're like, give me a mystery squash. I think the one that nobody has been able to put their finger on, which is actually my favourite at the moment, is I think it's the Robinson's lime and mint cordial, because my dad is pulling a face right now because he's like, that sounds absolutely disgusting. Like, how could you like mint and lime together? I guess it tastes a little bit like a virgin mojito, but you know what? Mint and lime goes together so well. I don't care what people say. And it's not like a toothpastey mint. It's like a fresh mint. And sometimes, what I'll do is, if I want to make it really fancy, I'll get the cordial juice stuff, put it in, and then I'll put fizzy water in to make it even more fancy. Do you know what? That's one thing that I should probably get myself, or maybe I'll put it on my Christmas list this year, is one of those like soda stream things, because then all of my mystery cordials, I can make them fizzy, so it's even more like a fancy drink. And then I'll put some ice in as well. I love putting ice in my drinks. And then like maybe I'll cut a bit of lemon and put it in there, make it really fancy. Or like if I have some berries or something in my fridge, then I'll put like a little strawberry or something on the side. Like when my friends all came over, I made like a mystery, I think it was like a mystery pink lemonade-y kind of thing. Basically I used summer fruit squash with just like normal soda lemonade kind of stuff, and mixed together. It tastes like a really nice pink lemonade, and then I popped little strawberries on the top of the glass of each drink, and it looked really cute. Anyway, so there's that. Oh, I do have a mint plant, and sometimes I like to put a bit of mint on my mystery squashes to make, I don't know, I just feel fancy when I have them. I feel like I'm at a restaurant or something, but in reality, I'm at home and I'm using everyday value squash. So there we go. Mystery squashes. What other things am I liking at the moment? I do love grapes and cheese. I feel like that is a top tier snack. Some people could be like, that sounds, I don't know, it does sound quite fancy actually, like, you know, little grapes and cheese, because you've got the best of both worlds. You guys know cheese is one of my favourite foods. Anything with like melted cheese on, love it. So cheese, I feel like if you're listening to this podcast episode and you're hungry, I really do apologise, because I'm going to just be talking for food for the next 5 minutes. Anyway, well, I'll swiftly move on, because some people aren't as interested in food as I am. What other things do I have on my little food? Oh, tell you what I do have every day, again, not sponsored, just love it, is I have my daily Actimel. And I don't know, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know how much like these things like scientifically work, that kind of stuff, but basically it's like a little yogurt drink that has vitamins in, it has vitamin D, which this time of year, take your vitamins, people, take your vitamin D. It's getting darker. This is for the people in the northern hemisphere. I know you guys in the southern hemisphere, you're going into summer, you're getting all your sun, it's getting dark. You're not going to have as much sun, so take your vitamin D, take your vitamins, especially in the winter. But anyway, so I have that, and it does have added vitamin D in, and it has minerals and that kind of thing, and it's supposed to be good for your gut as well, I'm pretty sure, like your gut bacteria. So that's like my go-to little snack. I also like to have a little Actimel once a day. I like the blueberry one more than the strawberry one, actually. I'm more of a blueberry kind of gal. So there we go. Okay, next we're on to things that I am loving, and that is going to be like to do with my phone. So we're going to be talking about apps, that kind of thing. Now, the top app that my friends and family will know that I am obsessed with at the moment, I think obsessed is probably the right word to say, and that is my test tube game. I feel like everyone goes through a phase where they have like an app or a game that for some reason, like, that is their go-to. Like, you know, when you're just like, I don't know, maybe you're waiting for a bus or a train or something, where you don't really want to like put up a whole YouTube video or like listen to a whole podcast or anything like that, because you've only got like 5 minutes before you need to go. You need to leave. Maybe you're waiting at like the doctor's office or like a dentist, that kind of thing. This is my go-to game when I'm like waiting for something. Maybe it's when I sometimes go on it when like I have a video that I've edited that's rendering. It's going to take like 5-10 minutes to render, and I'll just need like a little time to chill, because I try not to, I've been trying recently to not go on social media as much in between work times, especially when I go to the cottage. I quite like to have my like, okay, I'm offline now, I'm switching off. So also this game has lots of other little mini games that I haven't discovered yet. The app is literally just called Offline Games, because I travel a lot. Sometimes I don't have Wi-Fi or connection or that kind of thing where I'm at. And I thought, you know what? I'll just download that. So then, whenever like a kid comes along and goes, do you have any games on your phone? I've always got games on my phone and they don't use my data. Again, this is not an ad, but it is called Water Sort. Oh my gosh. And there's these little test tubes and you just have to sort them out in the colours. And I don't know what it is. I find it so satisfying. Wait, I need to check what level I'm on because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, Esme. My mum, when I was telling her about this, she was like, Esme, you are so busy. How do you have the time to do this? And I'm like, if you just have like a little 5 minutes while you're waiting for something or that kind of thing, you get like 5 minutes a day. You get through these things quickly. Anyway, so I am on level 166, which is ridiculous. And this is on the extra hard as well. And basically you have these test tubes, you sort them out. And I was playing it the other day with Batman, who is my boyfriend, you guys know, but that's his nickname that I have for him, and he's colourblind. And I felt so bad because I was just like playing it while he was like answering an email or doing some like work thing, and then he finished that and he looked over to see what I was doing. And I was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm playing my little test tube game. And he couldn't do it, bless him, because he's colourblind, and he was like trying to put the wrong colour in the wrong thing, and I was like, no, that's green and you're trying to put it in the blue one, like it's not working, I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's quite funny. Also, I haven't done as many Batman updates or many stories about him lately because he's abandoned me. Well, he hasn't actually. We are still together, but we're doing long distance over the winter while he is working on a very lovely tropical island. So, I mean, he's living it up, working in the sun while I'm here with the horses in the rain and the mud and horribleness. So anyway, there we go. But yeah, my test tube game is like my emotional support game. I just go on it every now and again when I need a little bit of introvert time. I need a little bit of time just to switch my brain off from social media and work and that kind of thing. So there we go. It is very addictive. Talking about other things that I've been loving on my phone. Now, I feel like I might be a little bit late to the party with this, but there is a thing that you can do this is for iPhone users. Apologies to my Android friends. You can probably do this because I'm pretty sure Android phones can. There are some things that can do much better, and you guys have got things way before us iPhone users. But anyway, moving on. I'm stuck with the iPhone game now. Like, that is what I am. That's what I have. All of my computers. Got an iPad. I got an Apple Watch. Like, I'm locked in. I can't escape the Apple. But anyway, there is a feature called Focus, and I was like, oh, isn't it just like for turning notifications off? That's kind of boring. Like, never really got into it. Oh my gosh, I love it. It is my favourite thing. It is like having 2 phones in one. That's the best way I can describe it, because when I'm at work, when I'm like at the office now or at the horses, I just have it on normal. Like, I have no focus on at all. And then obviously if you click on the focus, you have do not disturb, which I've always had, which automatically for me comes on at 9 p.m. and then I think it comes off at 7 p.m. So between those times, I won't get any work emails, I won't get any notifications. So it's while I'm sleeping, my phone won't be going bing, bing, bing. Like, even my friends, they're all like turned off as well, because I'm like, if it's after 9 p.m, if they're going to message me like, hey Esme, do you want to go out? I'm not going out. I'm in my bed. I'm ready for sleep. Like, if my friends really need to get to me, they can like ring me on my home phone number. Like, that is my emergency contact. Like, you can do that. Because yes, I feel like I'm such an old person having a home phone, because I feel like that just isn't really a thing for most people anymore. But basically where I live, there is no signal at all. So, and with my internet provider, they were like, would you like a home phone for like barely any money? And I was like, yeah, sure, I should probably have that in case like my Wi-Fi goes down or something and I need to call 999. Or I'm pretty sure actually if you do call 999, then it does go through satellite and you can ring them without having signal. But anyway, just in case I need to ring my mum or dad or something, or I'm freaked out and I have no Wi-Fi, like, it's probably a good idea for me to have a home phone. Although if anybody rings me on it, I am so suspicious. I'm like, who is this? Like, a lot of the time it's somebody random trying to like sell me something, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want this. I don't. Or they're like, oh, I'm from your bank, and it's not the bank that I have, and I'm like, no, this is a scam. Goodbye, thank you. But anyway, so yes. I was talking about a home phone. Anyway, back to my focus. My focus, that's what I was talking about. Esme, I need to focus on what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I have a focus and it's called Offline. And basically, whenever I'm not at work or at the horses or at a horse show working on that kind of thing, I put that focus on and it kind of almost feels like a whole different phone because you can change your lock screen, you can choose what kind of like pages on your phone you have open. So on my first page, I have like everything that I need that I use day to day. So I have like my internet, I have all of my like WhatsApp messaging apps, my photos, my camera, like, you know, the go-to things is on page number 1. Page number 2, you guys know me, I love to be organized. Like, these sort of things make me so happy. Page number 2 is all of my kind of like more fun things. So I have my games, I have my Kindle app, because you guys know I've become a Kindle person and I love reading. I have like my music, I have all that kind of stuff. I have Pinterest. I also love Pinterest. Like, if I ever feel down or like I need some inspiration to get me motivated, I just go on Pinterest and I like type in, like, this sounds like so silly, but like back when I was at school and studying, I would just type in like study motivation and be all like these really cute study notes or that kind of thing, and that would just like feel me really motivated for study. So I have like, or I would type in like girl boss or like that kind of thing, and then it would be like all of these like girl bosses like in their little suits and like their little paperwork and their laptop up and that kind of thing. Like, that sounds so silly, but I love it. It just makes me feel motivated. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna go and do my work now. Anyway, so sorry, page 1 is like all of my fun things. So I also have like a whole like little organized file that has like my Netflix, my Disney Plus, my Amazon Prime, like all that kind of stuff. Also, I feel so bad. I am that person that I literally steal all of my family's what's it called? No, I do not steal them. We have the family sharing one. That's it. Yes. But yeah. So anyway, moving on. Let's go away from that. And then I have another page, and that page is basically my work phone. Like, it's all of my work things that I have. So in one corner, I have some inspiration. This is so sad, but I do have some inspirational quotes. And you know what? They help. I was always like so cynical, like, oh, like, if you're the sort of person that needs an inspirational quote, then you just sort your life out. But you know what? They are good, because I look at them, I'm like, okay, I need to do my work. So one of them that I quite like that's on here, because it stops me from going on social media app platforms and just scrolling, because I go on there being like, okay, I need to edit a video or I need to post this thing, and then first video pops up and I'm like, oh, this is quite interesting, I'll watch it, and then before I know it, 10 minutes have passed and I've just wasted 10 minutes of my life. So anyway, I probably shouldn't say that, because please carry on watching my content. My content I hope is good. Anyway, so the first one is, your time is limited, don't waste it living somebody else's life, which I feel like is a really good one, actually, because I look at that and then I go onto my apps that I use for work to edit things, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch the first video that pops up, I'm going to go and edit my things. Or post the things that I need to post. And then another one is, your energy is currency, spend it well, invest it wisely. So anyway, that is my little working page that I have at the moment. So of course I've got my YouTube app, my YouTube studio, so I can check how my videos and stuff are doing, reply to comments. I've got SquareFit, is an app that I really like using for stories, for making things. Basically, you can make things. My friends, also a thing that I'm obsessed with is 16:9 or 9:16. Basically, if you go on your camera app, you can change it. So when you take photos, they are the exact size of a story. And that is the, 16:9 or 9:16. So whenever I'm with friends and we're taking a selfie, I always just shout 16:9, make it 16:9, and they're like, Esme, shut up. Like, they just know, they just do it now. I have trained them well, because it means when you take a photo and everyone's in it, everyone can fit in the photo. So anyway, okay, another app that I love using is called Hypic. It's HYPIC, and on there are really good filters that you can use, because I feel like some filters that people use, I'm like, okay, you've definitely got a filter. I'm not talking about like photo editing filters that make your face look funny or anything like that. I'm literally just talking about like color grading filters that maybe make things like leaves look a little bit more brown, which I love this time of year, just making everything look a little bit more autumnal, or making it so on your Instagram feed feed, everything looks kind of similar because it has the same sort of filter on. I mainly like using them for stories because I just think it makes my photos look more kind of fancy. If maybe things like, it just makes like the colours maybe look a little bit more pastel, or maybe if I want things to look a little bit more dramatic, it makes the black colours on it a little bit darker, and I don't know, just like things like that. I just think, I don't know, there are some really nice ones on there that I really like to use, so I like to have a little play around with that. There are some other things on there which are like teeth whitening, brightening your eyes, like that kind of stuff. I do not do any of that, like, so do not worry. So yeah, take that app with a pinch of salt. I just like to go on there for the like color grading. What else am I loving at the moment? I've got my files on there, so I get sent through work filey things that I need to look through. Of course, I have all of my social media apps on this page as well. So this page is like it is only there when I have my focus turned off. When I have my offline focus on, that whole page of apps and everything is not there. It is gone. So it means that I basically, if I'm just chilling at home on my phone, I cannot go on to Instagram or TikTok, which is a good thing because, number one, it's good for me to have time to switch off from work and that kind of stuff. And also, it's good to have time to just switch off from, the internet world. So anyway, that's what I do, which I have been loving. I also have like a little widget that has reminders on. So on those reminders, it just has things that I need to get done, like work-wise. So like I need to clear out my camera roll. I have too many photos on my phone at the moment, so that's one of them. Like edit some short format videos, plan videos as well, so I can see that. So I go onto that page, I look at it, and I'm like, oh, I've got these things that I need to do. Do not go and scroll on TikTok. Don't do it. I know you want to. Don't do it. And you know what? My brain feels happier spending less time on short format stuff because it's just so quick, and I don't know, brain rot anyway. So I also on that page have a picture of a lady with really nice fingernails typing away on her keyboard, so it makes me feel motivated to do work, which sounds really silly, but you know what, it works. Some things are silly, but they work. And then I have one more page which is a picture of me and Batman, and then it has a quote at the top that says, I'm grateful for all that I have, and a little love heart, because if you do one more swipe on an iPhone, bam, it basically goes onto a page where you can search up all of your apps, and you know what apps are always at the top there? Instagram and TikTok. So it just gives me a buffer zone to be like, if I'm, for some reason my brain isn't working and I'm just swiping across, I'm like, oh, I'll go onto Instagram. No, I have to swipe through a few pages to get to that page with all the apps on. So that is another little top tip. Also, on both of those social media platforms, I do have a timer on them. So I have a timer for 15 minutes a day. I'm like, unless I'm editing or filming videos on those apps, then obviously I am going to spend a little bit more time on it. So I have a 15-minute timer, and then after 15 minutes, the app closes. And if I want to go back on, I can either go on for 1 more minute, which is what I normally do, which is quite good, because if I'm in the middle of posting something, I can be like, bam, posted, done, gone. Or if it's 15 more minutes, which is probably about a good enough time if I am in the middle of filming something or editing something that does take a little bit longer. So that is a good thing to do. I would recommend set time limits on apps that you spend way too much time on. And tell you what, doing that has really helped my screen time. Also, it makes my phone feel like a different phone a little bit when I do put the focus on, because you can change with the focus change, you can change like your background as well, and you can also change your lock screen. So it's like having 2 phones in one. It's great, and you can do loads of them. Like you could do one for work and school, you could do one for when you're out with friends, you could do one for when you're feeling really creative and you have your creative apps up. So there we go. Anyway, that is what I've been really enjoying at the moment on my phone. Something else I do also love doing is making playlists on my phone. I'm not going to say what music provider I use because if you're listening to this podcast, you can listen to it on all platforms, and I don't want the other platforms to hear the other platform name, be like, no, do not like this girl, she's mentioning my competitors, go away. I don't know how good that is, but I know that on YouTube, if you say other things, or definitely on the other 2 social media apps, I've already said them, but TikTok and Instagram, if you say TikTok and Instagram, or Instagram on TikTok, both of them are like, go away, we don't like you do not belong here, you cannot say the enemy's name. Anyway, so yes, I'm not going to say what app I use, but it's probably quite obvious. But I love to make playlists. I'm a playlist girl. I have a playlist for everything on my phone. I have one called Pumpkin at the moment, which is all of my like Halloweeny, autumny kind of songs and tunes that are probably very kind of folky pop kind of stuff. I have I have one called Forest, which is literally just Noah Khan, because you guys know I went to see him in concert and I was like, okay, I'm just going to have one with all of his songs on. So before I go to the concert, I will know every single song word for word. I have one which is called Faves. And also all of the like photos that I use for my little albums are ones that I have chosen from Pinterest, which is also another good place to get some really aesthetic photos. Actually, no, the forest one is a cute picture of Casper in the forest. But my faves one is a cute little window that's got a sunset and then somebody's drawn like a heart in the condensation. I thought that was quite cute. You know, you can find some aesthetic stuff on there. Anyway, I've got one called Hedgehog, which is my happy folk. And then I have one called Badger, which is my more like chilled, moody folk. Because I guess like a badgers look kind of like they're going through an emo phase, you know? They've got the it looks like they've got some dark eyeliner on. What else do I have? I have The Vault, which is basically all the Taylor Swift songs from The Vault that are all the Taylor Swift songs that are less kind of mainstream. I have audiobooks, because I do like an audiobook every now and again. I've got one called Childhood, which is actually a really cute photo of me and Max when we were younger. I also have one called Palm Tree, which is basically all of my 2010 songs, because for some reason they just all give me like LA, California kind of vibes. I don't know what it is, but they're all kind of like electronic kind of poppy kind of songs. I have my party playlist. I have one called Bow, which is like all of my girly pop hits, so all of like female artist pop songs from basically the last 40 years, I want to say. So there are some cool throwback ones in there as well. What else do we have? They're like the main ones. I've got Beach as well, which is more like indie kind of songs. Like if I was going to the beach with my friends, I'd put that on. And lots of other... Oh, I've got Groovy as well. Got Rain. I've got rain sounds. This is probably so sad. But if I'm ever like on public transport or whatever and I just want to transport myself somewhere else, I put my headphones on and listen to rain. And I tell you what, it's so peaceful. Especially if somewhere's really busy and you're getting a little bit overwhelmed. That is good fun. Oh, I've got one called Bolt, and that's all my like running songs that are really like high energy. I've got my City Girl playlist. There's loads. I won't go through all of them because it's a little bit boring. But yeah, I just love organising playlists on my phone. So there we go. Okay, we should probably move on to something that isn't just like apps and things on my phone at the moment that I'm loving at the moment. So how about we go on to... Okay, this is something that I have been getting all of my friends onto. Like I feel like I feel like I'm like an influencer in real life, but with my friends. I'm like, guys, I'm loving this thing at the moment. You should try it out. I'm not going to gatekeep. I'm going to tell you this. And this is about my nails. So if you are watching this on YouTube, then you'll be able to see. But at the moment, my nails, they are looking cute. I actually did them last night. But if you can't see them, I'm going to describe them to you. So at the moment, they are kind of like a burgundy berry colour ready for autumn. But you might be able to see, or I can tell you, so they are very shiny. Like they look like gel nails. They look like I have been to a salon, apart from the bits that I've obviously like accidentally painted on my skin. But we're not going to talk about that. I do not use gel nail polish because number one, it scares me. I did not know about this. Like, obviously, horse girl, I'm not the sort of person to go and spend lots of money at a salon or lots of time sitting and have my nails done because they will just get ruined. Although, my friend who is horsey does get gel nails. And she says they last. But the thing that scares me about it, that I didn't actually know about until it was on the news like a few months ago. And I have family members that are in the kind of like the medical industry. And I talked to them about it and they were like, yeah, it's actually really scary. I don't want to traumatize anyone or put anyone off or like scaremonger or anything like that. But there is a chance, especially if you're somebody who can has allergic reaction to things or maybe is a little bit more sensitive, which I am that sort of person. I have had allergic reactions to different like creams and that kind of stuff. But when you have gel nails done, I'm pretty sure it's to do with the like curing method that they do with the UV light. So if any of the nail polish gets onto your skin and the UV light kills it, basically your body can, I think it's like builds up a tolerance, something along those lines, and it can mean that in the future, if you do have like an allergic reaction to it, like I've seen some allergic reaction photos to it on the news and oh my gosh, I felt so sorry for these poor ladies that did have like a reaction to it. But for the rest of their lives, they are going to have severe problems when it comes to medical treatment because they've had a reaction to that. It means that in the future, if they need like composite bonding or that kind of stuff with their teeth, that's going to be declined because they're now allergic to the material in that stuff. If they need like, I don't know, heart surgery or hip replacements, that kind of thing, like that is going to affect their medicalness, that's not the right word, but it's going to affect them if they ever need any sort of medical treatment in the future. So my family members were like, Esme, don't get it done, don't get the gel nails, because if you have a reaction to it, and I know that a lot of people have it done all the time and they have no reaction at all, but I do not want to take my chances of being one of the people that do have a reaction. So I'm not a gel nail person, but if you look at my nails, they do look like I've had a few people ask me like if I have gel nails, and I'm like, no, I have done them myself with normal nail polish. So trying to think of what brands of nail polish that I really like. I really like Essie. Essie do really good nail polish, but when I tell you the top coat that I use on these bad boys makes them last, I'd say at least a week. So I do my nails once a week. I have it as my little cozy time. I sit on the sofa. I have like a little lap tray that I use to make sure that I don't get nail polish on my sofa or anything like that. I often have a blanket on me as well because I am Mrs. Clumsy. I will spill and knock over things. The dyspraxia in this one is strong, and I am just that person that I'm clumsy anyway. So I don't want to get it on my nice sofa. So I'll sit down, I'll watch TV, and I'll do my nails. And it'll probably take me about an hour. But it sounds like a lot, an hour once a week. But do I spend about an hour once a week sitting on the sofa watching telly in the evening, chilling? Yes, I do. So I'm like, well, how about a multitask? So what I do is, the two things, game changing, is the base coat and the top coat that I use. And it's the C&D top coat. When I tell you, my nail polish does not chip with it. Like, again, this is not sponsored. This is just something that I absolutely love and I don't want to gatekeep. Because you guys know me. I'm with horses all day. I mean, I do try to wear gloves when I'm like grooming and things, because if not, I have noticed that my nails don't chip, but they do this thing, especially if I have a darker colour like this, where just like the bottom of the nail, especially, it's more when I give the horses like scratchies and things, like it will just like wear off. Like it will just like, honestly, like just the bottom will wear off, and it'll just be like I have like a little light white line around the bottom where you can just see my actual like natural nail colour coming through. But with my job, I do kind of feel like I do have to have quite nice nails, especially if I'm doing up close product shots and that kind of stuff. Like if I've got dirt under my nails or chipped nails, that kind of thing, it just doesn't look very professional. So that's why I've recently got into doing my nails. But as I said before, it lasts a week now. Before 2 days my nails would be chipped. Like being a horsey girl, doing gardening, doing all this stuff that I do, like my nails would chip, or the paint would chip on my nails. But using this top coat, honestly, so I use the base coat and then I do 2 coats of whatever fancy colour I decide to go for, and then I do a top coat over the top, and then bam, it has got to the stage where I will weekly redo my nails, not because they're chipping, but because like I'm getting like the regrowth come through, and I'm like, wow, okay. So there we go. It's the C&D top coat. Would recommend that stuff. It's like, I don't even know. And the thing is, when it comes to like taking a nail polish off, it just comes off easy. Boom, ready to go. It's not like it's some sort of toxic stuff that's really difficult to get off. Just normal nail polish acetone comes off easy. What else have I been obsessed with lately? This is something that I've had since for ages, like ever since I became a lady. Sorry, that sounds really weird, but basically I have an emergency purse with me, and I take my emergency purse everywhere. Now in that emergency purse, I am like the walking pharmacy. If anybody needs anything, I've got it in there. I've got like a nail file in case I get a chipped nail. That I feel like that's such a girly thing to have. I have lip gloss in case, or lip balm, because the last thing you want is chapped lips. That is not fun, especially in the winter when like it starts bleeding and stuff. No. Anyway, I have a little mini hand cream or mini like hand sanitizer. I have headphones, because you never know when you just want to put in some headphones. I have just like the normal earbuds because I don't trust myself with AirPods. They're like little ones because I feel like I would definitely lose them and they are expensive. And also I feel like I'd definitely forget to charge them. I also have painkillers because I sometimes get in pain, so that is always useful. Take painkillers responsibly. Anyway, I also have some lady products that you never know when you're going to get caught out, so it's good to have those. And you never know, just like I have plasters in case I get a blister or I cut myself, or I'm just like the walking pharmacy. And if I have that mini purse with me, I have most things I need. I have cash as well. There have been a few times where I've been caught out where somewhere like their internet's down and they're not accepting card payments, and it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have any cash with me. Also, I used to keep my driver's license in there, but I now keep it in my phone because wherever I go, my phone is going to be with me. And the amount of places where I've gone to where they need ID to kind of like get me into the event or the show or that kind of thing, like you do not want to forget your ID. I think that's most things that's in my little emergency purse. Oh, most importantly, I have euros in my emergency purse because you guys know, if you listened to that podcast episode, you do not want to get caught out in Europe and not have any euros when you need a wee, because their public toilets, it's not much, like it's only like a few cents or something, or maybe even €1, but you do have to pay to go to the toilet. So in the UK we don't have that as much. Also I have a few pound coins as well, because you know, if you need like a little shopping trolley, you need to put a little £1 coin in to go and do your shopping. It's also useful to have that as well. So I'm just trying to think, I think that is most things that I have in my little emergency purse. But I feel like having a little emergency purse is great because it has everything that you need. And if you maybe swap and change bags quite a bit, so I have like my big work bag that I have that I can fit like my iPad in and my laptop. I have like a different bag that I use, which is like my travel bag for when I go and stay the night somewhere, often like on like a work night trip away. I also have like my cute little handbags as well, so if I want to swap between handbags depending on what look I'm going for. Like having a little emergency purse the way you don't need to go through and take everything out of each bag and put it in. It's all in one little purse. Boom. Just move that from bag to bag. Never have to worry about forgetting something then. So there we go. Having a little emergency purse. It's my little thing that I love at the moment, and I have been loving for the last like 10 years or something like that. So what else do we have on here? Okay, I have a few things that I am a little bit obsessed with at the moment. Okay, one of them, because it's kind of autumn, is my pumpkin candles. Now, I've always had like candles around my house, but I've been one of those things where I never really think to light them. But in the evenings, I have my little routine, closing all the curtains, putting on, I was going to say, not in my house, I have the big light, which is like, you know, the big ceiling light, but I have like some side lamps that are a little bit more warm, they're not as bright, so I'll put my like little lights on, and then I'll light some candles, and I'll just like sit on the sofa and do my nails or have my dinner or whatever. But oh my gosh, these pumpkin candles smell so good. And I've just got in a routine of lighting a candle every evening. And I just find it so relaxing. Like I don't know why, I've always had candles, but I never really become a candle person. But I am now a candle person. Like I thought this pumpkin candle that I have was gonna last me until like next autumn. It's gone. It is deceased. It has been used up. All of the wax has disappeared. So there we go. And the pumpkin-y smell, it just makes me feel like autumn. I mean, soon I'll be thinking about Christmas. It's now November. I can say the C word. I can say Christmas. But I guess, yeah, maybe I should get some like Christmassy scent candles anyway. But yes, I've been loving my little pumpkin candles at the moment. Also, something else that I've been loving that you guys know is my scrapbook. I am a scrapbooking girl. I've been doing my scrapbook every single week since I was 18. I was like, I'm going to start this because when I was like a real life change, not really. When I was 18, I kind of finished my A-levels the same month that was my 18th birthday. So I basically had this thing where I turned 18, I was an adult, and I went straight into full-time work. I went straight into like doing content creation, everything full-time. Actually, my dad picked me up from my A-level chemistry exam and drove me to a horse show where I was working that afternoon. So there we go. My dad sometimes jokes that after that day I haven't had a rest since. I have had a rest since. I've had some holidays now, but he used to joke about that a lot, especially as you guys know that when I went away he went and looked after the horses for me, which is very kind of him. But anyway, so I decided to do a scrapbook to each week just write down some some things that I got up to. So maybe it was I was working at this horse show, or I got to film with this rider, or I met up with my friends and we went shopping, or like just each week writing down a couple of things that I've got up to that bring me joy. And I have like a little mini printer, and I print out photos from my little mini printer, so of what I got up to that week, and then I can look back, I can read what I got up to, so when I'm really old. And you know, it was one of those things that I kind of started off with when I was 18 doing, because I only thought I was going to be able to do YouTube and social media as a gap year, and I was like, okay, I'm going to give myself a year to see if I can do this as a full-time job. Like, can I make it? And as you guys can hear from me talking on the podcast, I was very, very lucky and very, very grateful that it managed to work out. So yeah, still pinch me moment, all the opportunities and things that I get to do with my job. So I was like, at the time I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it for my gap year so I can look back on the memories of all the cool things that I get up to. And like, even today I'm still going on with it, because I'm like, I know that these opportunities and everything probably won't last forever, and I'm so lucky that I've been able to do this for way longer than I ever thought, and it's still, touch wood and everything, going very well. So thank you to you guys for all of your love and support, because you're the reason that I'm still able to do this as my full-time job and making a living from it. So thank you very much for listening and everything. So I still do my little scrapbook each week on a Sunday. Sometimes it'll be like a weekday evening if I'm busy on a Sunday, but sometimes I get a little bit left behind, so maybe I'll do 2 weeks in 1 week or that kind of thing. But I feel like the thing with diaries that most people don't do is because it's like a daily thing, and doing a daily thing, it's like, oh my gosh, like that is so difficult to keep up with. And that's what all my friends say. They're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you've been doing your scrapbook for so long, because like I've tried diaries and that kind of thing, and like after a while you just give up or you forget about it or that kind of thing. But with a scrapbook that you do once a week, it's easy. You just do it once a week, set out an hour of your time, one evening when you're chilling. I find it really therapeutic. I find it really relaxing. And it's also such a lovely thing, because there might be some days that are a bit down in the dumps. Maybe you've had a bad day or that kind of thing. Like, everyone has bad days. And you can look back on your little scrapbook and be like, oh, that was a really lovely day where me and my friends, we did this. And oh, that was so funny, or like that kind of thing. And I just think it's so lovely to look back on and be like, oh, had some good times, you know? So there we go. That is something that I'm obsessed with, and that is my scrapbook. I think I'm going to finish off today's podcast here, because I've been rambling to you guys for way too long. And maybe in a few months' time, if you'd like me to do another favourites podcast episode, let me know, because I'm sure there will be some more things that I'm loving at the moment or obsessed with, because I go through phases, like my little test tube game, where I just get absolutely obsessed with something. So there we go. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you download the Red Post app to get those Black Friday deals. Thank you so much again to Red Post for sponsoring the podcast. Also, I never really say this at the end of podcast episodes, but if you are listening on a podcast provider, if you could like it, rate it, subscribe to it, follow it, whatever you need to do, rate it 5 stars would be very lovely. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.